What's up, everyone? It's RobFuz. I'm back. Can you believe it? 2 weeks in a row. I was telling Pam, my guest today, I was like, I used to stream all the time, and now I don't stream as much anymore. So for me to stream like back-to-back weeks like this, it's awesome. So welcome, guys. Welcome to the stream. Oh, I have the replay over here. It's too funny. Like, I had to blow it. I had 2 weeks in a row, and I was doing so good, and then I forgot to mute the feedback there on YouTube. But nonetheless, welcome, guys. Welcome to the show. This is This Week in Disney. This is basically looking back at last week's, generally the history, generally news that came out. I just want to have some fun. So let's some old stuff, some new stuff. And speaking of new stuff, I have a new friend, a new content partner, if you will. Her name's Pam. In Pam's Kitchen. Here she is. Welcome, Pam, to the show.
Hey there.
My first guest. Thank you so much. Pam's like, I'll be on. So I'm like, cool, come on. So welcome, Pam. How you doing? What's going on?
Oh, I'm good. I'm happy to be here, Rob, and
Well, thanks for
talking
coming on.
about two of my favorite things, food
Yeah.
and Disney.
We're
And
gonna
so
get to
if I
that, yeah.
can combine them, that's
Awesome.
all about
How could I not like Pam? She loves Bon Jovi. She loves Disney. Come on. I love food. She loves food too. So Pam is awesome. What I was saying too, that Pam
Thank you.
just went to Disney. I don't know how much you want to talk about your Disney experience, but so I'll leave that up to you. But she filmed some rides for me and everything, so I appreciate it. I've been showing the parade you recorded for me was awesome, and a couple different rides and everything. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much for doing that for me too on my channel and everything, RobFuz. So, and real quick before I forget, thank you to my awesome sponsors, Dinners with Donna and another Pam. Pink Pam 86, she does streaming, and Donna does streaming too. Donna does a lot of food stuff too. You got to check out Donna if you haven't checked out Donna, and Pam, of course, but the other Pam, they're my awesome channel sponsors, and I have a bunch of members too. Pam, thank you guys if you're a member of my channel, thank you so much for being a member. So let's do this. So this week, this is the week of this. We're recording this September 15th, 2025, and this is looking back at last week. We're celebrating Disney's past, present, and flavorful future. So we got Pam from In Pam's Kitchen. I'm going to give you the floor, Pam. You talk about your online presence. So Pam's not really. I'm gonna say it. Pam's not really big on YouTube, but she's pretty big on Instagram. So talk about it. I'm going to give you the floor right up front here.
Okay. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and if anybody's on not necessarily new anymore, but Lemonade, which is an offshoot of TikTok.
I don't know that.
So, I'm on that one too. Rob, we can talk about that one later because there's a
Okay.
big Disney presence on that one.
Okay.
So, I'm all over social media. You can find me. I do everything food related that you can think of, whether it's, creating recipes. I do things as, Rob mentioned, Bon Jovi. I do things with Hampton Water Wine, the JBJ Soul
I do love
Seasoning.
Hampton Water Wine, and I love the seasoning. I saw all the different stuff you were
Yes.
doing. You
Yeah.
inspired me to add
So
my seasoning.
I create recipes
stuff.
with those, with, other recipes without those. There are a couple other brands I work with. So yeah, whether it's
check her
that,
out.
whether it's doing food reviews, anything food related.
I put all your links in the description too, so go check her out.
Perfect.
Let's give her
Great.
some
Thanks.
new subs and everything. So real good. So Pam said, Rob, let's talk about the Food and Wine Festival 2025, right?
Yeah.
It just started, so I think that's a great thing to kick off the show with. I think I told Pam, I said, I'm giving you the floor because we went to the art what's the art festival? The Festival of the Arts?
Festival of the Arts.
I went.
Yep,
That's the
Festival of
only
the
one I
Arts in
ever went to
January.
with my family. I think we did that twice actually, so which was really fun. But I never did the Food and Wine. And actually, I love real quick too. I wouldn't even talk about this. Talk about let's if we can in there. Let's talk about the different bands that play too. They get some pretty good artists there too, right?
Yeah, eat to the beat.
Yeah.
So as long as you just brought that up, they have They do this for all the festivals, whether it's the Festival of the Arts or the Garden Festival, which is in spring, or the other big one, which is the Food and Wine in August through November. They have, it's called Eat to the Beat. And of course, it's because it's food related. Um, they'll have different bands. They'll have, like when we were there one time, they had a series of Disney Broadway stars doing a montage of
It's awesome.
songs.
Yeah.
We've heard jazz singers. It's, I know they've had like Boys to Men, so they
Joey
have all
Fatone is always the
different,
big one, I
yeah.
think. So he's
Yeah,
awesome. So
so the Beach Boys, I believe, are coming this year. So it's all
yeah, it's
different
always different.
genres, and they're short concerts. I mean, maybe 45 minutes an hour. You can upgrade, you can pay for better seats, but otherwise you just stand in the back and listen to some great
Yeah,
music
yeah.
while you're enjoying some
Well,
great food.
I always thought it was bizarre. They'll do like three 45-minute sets in the show because I guess the arena is so small they rotate the people out, right? It's something like that. They play three times a day or something, right?
Yeah,
Like
it's two
little
or three
things. So
times a
yeah,
day. I don't remember what it is, but yeah, there are short
pretty neat.
sets. It is, you're right, it is small. I mean, maybe it seats 1,000, maybe, if that.
Yeah, it's tiny.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. So
So,
yeah, let's get into
but
food. I'm sorry. I didn't
okay.
want to throw
No,
you off on
no,
that. I
we
was
can
thinking about
digress.
that.
It's all part of the Food and
Yeah,
Wine
all good.
Festival. It's all Disney. So, the Food and Wine Festival started a couple weeks ago, towards the end of August.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we just missed it. We were there the beginning. My husband and I were there the beginning of August. Um, but it's the same from year to year. Unfortunately, we're not going to get there this year. But I have been to the Food and Wine Festival many times, so
Nice.
I
Touche.
can definitely, speak with some authority on this. But it does go through, no, it lasts a long time. It goes, like I say, it starts the end of August and it goes through November 25th this year. So there's plenty of time to catch it. And for those of you that are unfamiliar with the Food and Wine Festival, what it is there are booths, kiosks that are set up all throughout Epcot, and it is only at Epcot. And it's food that you normally don't have in the park there. So when you're in the World Showcase, you've got all of your countries. They will also have a special kiosk with food specifically for items that they have specifically for the Food and Wine Festival. And then they'll add in other countries like India, the Alps, like Switzerland, Greece is there, Spain. And Rob's got a
You
picture
show
up
some
right
pictures up there. Yeah,
now.
these are your pictures. So
Yeah. Um, Remy, of course, being the, patron saint of the Food and Wine Festival,
he's awesome.
being the chef rat that he is, and his brother Emil has a couple things to do with it too, which I'll talk about shortly. But it's a great event. Then, in the ever-changing name of, the future world part or whatever, its incarnation is now, um, they also have booths. So, like around the Land Pavilion, they have one called Earth Eats, which they have a couple vegan or vegetarian items on there. By Test Track, I know they also have one that's called the Fry Basket, so it's French fry based. What you just had up there, Rob, was from last year. It was a Mexican corn cake. That
I
one
messed
was
up.
yep, that is a lemon, that's the corn cake with chocolate from Mexico. Then the other one is a lemon poppy seed cake from the Earth Eats. So
That's
there are
fancy.
all of these booths around. Um, one of our favorites that we discovered last year, oh, that one's from Greece. So that is grilled cheese. Again,
Oh
Greece,
wow.
yeah, not a typical, country that's in Epcot. So
Well, that's what I was gonna say
yeah,
too. Like the food and wine, like Greece is there. Like the different booths aren't not necessarily represented by the countries that are in World Showcase, right? So I kind of forget
Right.
about that too. Yeah. So, and these are all
Well,
Pam's pictures too, by the way. So
yeah, there are, so like Italy, France, Mexico, they will all have a kiosk for the Food and Wine Festival. But as I say, they bring in all of these other countries as well to showcase their foods. And it's
that's
great.
nice.
So that's a great picture to have up, Rob. That is from Canada. And that really focuses on something I want to share with the Food and Wine Festival is this isn't just bite-sized things you can snack on. I mean, you can get a filet mignon there
Wow,
and
that's great. I didn't realize
potatoes.
what that was.
Yeah, that's a
That's
filet
awesome.
mignon. And, I don't remember how much it was, maybe $10, $12. And it's probably 4 ounces or so. So you can really make some nice meals here. And one of my tips for the Food and Wine Festival is share, share, share. Because
It's a great tip.
this way, yeah, this way you can try, a multitude of foods without overstuffing yourself. And it's great on your wallet too.
Yeah.
So you really can get some nice food at this.
Yeah,
So,
we
but
have notes too, and I added something too. I forget. Can you buy like a pre-done card? Like you could put like $50 on a card, and you can walk around and have like a card. Like, don't they have that too?
yeah, I
I think they
think
do.
they do. I think they do because it's pretty much by credit card. So if you want to pay with cash,
Right.
you have to turn it in for a card like that. Otherwise, if you're familiar with the Disney Magic Bands,
Oh, that's
it's
true too. Yeah.
Disney's. Yeah, it's Disney's all-purpose band, which is your room key if you're staying at one of the Disney resorts. It's your park tickets. You tie it to a credit card, and I don't have one here to show you, but all you do, it's like a watch. You just swipe it, and you use it to pay
Yeah.
for things.
I
And
have a million of them. I didn't think about it either.
yeah,
So that's
yeah.
great. So
Yeah. So, you get this, like I said, you get this great variety of food, and it's really fun to try things that maybe you wouldn't normally have
yeah,
otherwise.
for sure.
So, that's another tip that I've got for people is, try, share things, try things. Um, it's a great way to immerse yourself in the different countries or different types of food. I know one that we had last year that we fell in love with, and I know it's on the menu again this year, is it's called, let me see, Flavors from Fire. And it's a barbecue stand. But what they did is they barbecued corned beef. Now, there's nothing like a corned beef sandwich,
Sounds
but
good.
yep. So, but when they smoked the corned beef, that was a great one that we tried.
Okay,
And
that
that
sounds
cake,
good.
yeah.
Very interesting.
So, and I know they've got, a new stand this year. Um, it's called, and pardon if I butcher this name here, it's
Well,
like,
forgive.
yeah, Gyros of the Galaxy. I guess it's a play on Guardians
Gyro?
of the
Is that what it is?
Galaxy.
Gyro? Okay.
Gyros,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what they're gyro.
Uh,
Yeah.
Well, but there's no R in it, so I'm
Okay.
not sure about that. Yeah. Gazoyas of the Galaxy. But it's all dumplings. And
Ooh,
so
that
that one
sounds
sounds
good.
really interesting. And the one on the menu this year that really sounds great is a street corn dumpling. So a
That
dumpling
sounds really
stuffed
good
with
too.
Mexican street corn.
Very
So
nice.
yeah,
Okay.
so that sounds really good.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, you've got all of those pictures you just showed.
So you walk around, it's like
It's
little samples and stuff. I know they have
it,
tables somewhat too. Like you could little
right,
tables and
right.
stuff.
Okay.
And
So
let's go
that's
there.
part of the charm. Yeah, that's part of the charm of the Food and Wine Festival. They do have some tables out. Otherwise, you can just, sit on the ground. But it is not a trip to the Food and Wine Festival without trash can dining. And
Again, this is
you
Pam's picture.
It is okay, and so here's the funny thing with this picture is on top of the trash can you're seeing a glass of champagne. So that is the epitome of contrast here. You have a glass of Dom Perignon, and yes, you can
That's
in
crazy.
Epcot buy Dom Perignon by a glass and not by a bottle full. Um, and so you put that on top of a trash can. But people do. And okay, so here's the crazy thing, people will actually bring tablecloths and set up tablecloths on top of a trash can, and it becomes your dining spot. It's fun, it's quirky, but it's what you've got to do to, to
I
eat
know about
without
this. I
walking
can't believe
over
this
and
is a
stuff.
thing, but it's crazy.
It,
It's
it
glad I
is.
can look some pictures.
Google it. Trash can dining at the Food and Wine Festival. There's some great TikToks on it too. Um, but okay, so that's another tip that I have for your viewers too. Is use a trash can as a table if you need to. But speaking of tables, be kind. Share your table with somebody, or if you see people scouting tables, don't linger around longer than you have to. It's just common courtesy. But
Well, that's a good tip, so
yeah,
for sure. So,
yeah. So let's see. What's your next picture, Rob? Do you
so I think that's
have?
it for the festival. So I have.
Okay.
Do you want to go to a
Okay.
meals thing? Is there anything else you want to add with the
Yeah.
festival too, or?
No, I think, look for those hidden gems out there. Again, it's all about trying new things. Don't be afraid, to go out there, experiment. Like you say, some are larger portions, some are smaller portions, but if you're sharing, if you don't like it, let somebody else try,
Yeah,
have it, and you'll eat more of something else. So it's,
yeah. Well,
yeah.
you were saying too. What's his name was part of. Remy was part of the mascot and everything. Is there like
Right.
I know the next thing we're going to talk about? They have different themes. Is there something new for 2025 character theme wise, or it's always just Remy?
Well, sometimes they'll bring in, like, they'll have Mickey Mouse merchandise too. I believe they also have Figment, who, is
Figment is
synonymous
big
with
too. That's true.
Epcot. Yeah, yeah. That's the purple dragon, Figment of your imagination, who I just think he's absolutely adorable. But
I
but
love Figment too.
really, but really, the mascot for the Food and Wine Festival has to be none other than Remy. I mean,
He
he
eats on a
is.
trash can. You showed me the animations,
It,
which was awesome.
there
So
there is. He eats on the
that's funny.
trash can. I mean, there is the great Ratatouille ride. It is probably one of my favorite rides in all of Disney. If you haven't been on it, I highly, highly recommend it. It goes through Remy cooking in the kitchen and making ratatouille for a big party. It's
Yeah,
it's
for
a
sure.
fun ride. Yeah. But so yeah, you asked, Rob, and there are some other things that are tied into the Food and Wine Festival. So they have Emile, who you might know as
Yeah,
Remy's brother.
over here.
Yep. It is Emile's fromage montage. So fromage, French for cheese. So everything with him
Okay.
is cheese based. So the way it works is you go get a little booklet of all the different restaurants. You can get them at the little stands that they have. You can just pick them up any place in Epcot, and they might even have them at the Disney hotels too.
Mm,
I don't recall on that one. Um, but you go and they have certain items marked at certain stands that are cheese based. And you order five of them, five different ones, I should say. Again, you can share them with people. You order five different ones and they will put a stamp on your booklet. You get five of them and you take it to one of the stands called Sparkling Sips, which is dessert, champagne, drinks, so forth. And they give you this great dessert. It's cheesecake based.
oh, that's
So
awesome.
last year, it was a blueberry and vanilla cheesecake. And this year, I believe it's a key lime crumble cheesecake. So again, keeping with that cheese thing. And you get to keep the cup. So I
That's
do
awesome.
have mine here. So it's just this little plastic cup that's fun, great souvenir.
Yeah, bring
All
it
it costs you.
bring in the frame. The frame's wacky, so bring on the other side. There you go.
There you go. There
That's
you
really
go.
cool. I love it. That's
Yeah.
so nice.
So you get this
It's
little
big. It looks bigger
souvenir.
than it did in the other photos. So
Oh yeah, it's
yeah,
would be a decent sized wine glass,
yeah, for
so
sure.
it's nice to use. So that's a little souvenir. Then they also have, which I have not done, it's called Remy's Hide and Squeak. So what that is you that one you actually have to pay a fee for. I believe it's 12, $15, something like, an amount similar to that. And they give you again a little booklet, but this booklet has stickers in it. And the idea is Remy is hiding, is a play, hide and squeak, obviously a play on hide and seek. So you have to go around Epcot and find all of the Remy's
That's
and
cool.
then put the appropriate sticker with wherever Remy is hiding there. Once you've completed it, and if you get it all right, and even if you don't, you can go to any of the specially designated merchandise store, the stores that have the merch shops, and they give you a prize. So this year it is a Disney themed bento box.
Ooh, that
So
sounds good.
yeah. So it's a really
It's
great
empty. There's
way
no
to,
food in it though.
no, no,
Okay.
it's an empty bento box.
Darn.
But so that's a great way to keep kids entertained too at the
That's
Food and
cool.
Wine
I
Festival,
like
if
that.
they're picky eaters. And on that note, I just want to interject another tip.
Okay, I love the
I can hear
tips.
my husband cheering this one on in the other room. Is
Marty.
if you, yeah, if you have little ones, um, you know, the Food and Wine Festival opens at 11. Epcot opens usually
Hmm.
before that, but the food stands open at 11 for the Food and Wine Festival. So don't plan on breakfast. If you've got little kids, go early in the day, um, especially on Friday and Saturday nights. So that is my big tip. Friday and Saturday nights at the Food and Wine Festival. Um,
They're
other nights of
packed,
the
right?
week, yeah, they're crazy. They will have the Disney police there, but Friday and Saturday nights, it's actually the Orange County Sheriff's Department
Wow.
we've seen walking around. Back in the day in college, I mean, I had been to some frat parties that are not as wild as that on Friday, because they also get a lot of locals too. And
Right.
there's a lot of universities around there. So people just come and have a lot of fun, and we'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
So
That's a good tip
Friday and
right there.
Saturday nights, tip, leave the little ones, yeah, elsewhere.
Okay. Very
But
cool.
yeah, so those are some of the fun
Great
things
tips.
that are actually in the Food and Wine Festival. But I think we would be really remiss about, talking about food and wine if we didn't mention the big event that takes place in the first weekend in November. And it is the Disney Wine and Dine races. So if you're, yep, that was the Wine and Dine 5K last year, which I did. Now, Disney, if you're not familiar with, they have races in Florida and out in California. It's a program that they have called Run Disney. They have everything from little toddler races up to in Florida, they have in January a full marathon that takes you through all four parks. So, as I say, they have these throughout the year. It's an
Mm.
actual, race. You can get timed. Um, you have to qualify for certain groups. If you've ever raced before, you know that the different corrals that they set you off in, you have to qualify for times. So this is all, truly legitimate runs races that they have there. Um, and at the Food and Wine Festival, it's always the first weekend in November. They have a 5K, which, as I say, I've done a couple times. They have a 5K,
That's
a
awesome.
10K, and then they have a half marathon. But then you can also do a two race challenge and then get a special medal for that, which would be the 10K and the half marathon. So they
It's
are
very exciting.
really, yeah, they're really, really fun. Last year was the first time they've ever had for any of the races a Muppet themed race. And so they did that for the 5K, which I ran last year. And yep, you
Swedish
see the
chef.
Swedish
Okay.
chef up there. And what a perfect medal that
That
they
looks heavy,
had
by the way. You
for.
showed me earlier. Other side. There we go.
Yeah, there we
Rubbing that
go.
sucker in.
So that is the 5K
That's
medal.
awesome.
And it's a nice, medal. So, they spare no expense. So that's great.
And
And
repeat that for me. Hold it up. You did. Which one did you finish? I'm sorry.
I did the
Just the
5K
5K
last
one.
year.
Okay. All right.
I really had thought about doing the 10K. I think next time I go, I'm gonna
Okay.
definitely try
That's
the
awesome.
10K. But
Do you have to prepare for
don't.
that? Like, is that a huge thing you worked on, or it's just
Well, okay, so
you're a runner?
I'm a runner.
Okay,
Okay,
great.
so I've been running for quite some time, and that was kind of I did my first Disney run maybe 10 years ago or so, and I had been running before that too. Now, what I want to tell your viewers though is you don't have to run to do this. So there are a lot of people that walk these races. You have to walk at a certain pace. You have to maintain, I believe it's a 12-minute mile, but
Okay.
most people can walk a mile in 12 minutes. Um, so you can walk it, you can run it. They don't allow, they do have a special category for wheelchairs, but you can't bring strollers
Okay.
because there were, when I did the 5K last year, there were about 30,000 people running this.
Wow.
So
That's
it's
crazy.
huge. Yeah. And we're all there at 4 o'clock in the morning, all ready to start
Wow.
yeah, that's the day before when you get all of your materials. You pick up your bib, you sign your waivers, things like that. And you do that at the ESPN Wild World of Sports. But and that's just, that was one shot inside the expo trying to, get your bib, and then they have a whole nother hall with vendors set up, all sports related, running related.
Hmm.
So,
Got another big show
where,
to start
yeah,
here. So
where you can
crazy.
buy costumes, because one of the things at Disney races is people dress up. Now, there are very strict limits on what you can and can't wear, because they don't want things like long capes that are going to cause people to trip. You can't wear masks, but you can tell people dress up, or at least they go with a theme. So you can see, I love Cinderella, as you can see on my shirt here. Um, so I'm in blue and white for Cinderella.
That's cool.
Those people that are true runners tend to pare down the costumes a little bit and go more for a Disney inspired type of look.
Okay.
But you will see people there in, Cinderella, let's just say ball gowns. You will see people in
It's crazy.
full Olaf costumes, because the mascot last year again was the Swedish chef. You saw people with chef's hats, and carrying trays of food around. It was, and then, you might wind up seeing, if you go later in the race, items disposed of on the side of the road, because, running after 2 miles, it gets pretty tiring carrying a tray of food. So,
It's crazy. Well, you were telling me too. The
but it's
Muppets.
fun.
They had like some video things, and were you telling me
Oh, they
about that
did.
before?
They did. So, like I say, you're there. If you're staying at a Disney hotel, the buses leave the hotel like at 3:30 in the morning. They take you to the start line. And the first races go a little before 6 in the morning. So you've got plenty of time. But again, with 30,000 people there plus spectators, you know, Got to be there early.
Mm.
So they keep you entertained. I mean, they'll have an MC, they bring on the Muppets, they'll have people talk to the crowd. So even if you are not actually participating in the race, there's plenty of things to keep you entertained.
Well,
Um,
you get to run in areas you normally like backstage areas, and you get to do some
you
cool
you
stuff too,
do
right?
you
Yeah, that's
do.
I always want to do it for
Um,
that. So
Yeah. So, and as I say, you don't have to run. You can walk it, and there are plenty of people that do just walk it. So you do for this particular race, the food and wine one. You start out in the Epcot parking lot, and it takes you around through service roads, and you finally enter the park around test track, but you see the backstage part of it. I
that's
know
awesome.
when I did one at the Animal Kingdom years ago, you were actually, backstage at the Animal Kingdom. But going back to this one, you enter through around where test track is, and you're making a circle around. You go through the countries, then you go around Spaceship Earth, and finally back out into the parking lot where you finish. And all of that is 3.1 miles. So, and
Okay,
they
Epcot's so
have
big.
yeah,
You don't have
they
to
have
go
route
anywhere else.
markers along the way, so you know approximately where you are. But you had mentioned video screens, and they had, well, again, because this was a Muppet themed race, they had the Muppets, cheering you on, Miss Piggy, Kermit, you can
That's
do this,
awesome.
you can do this. But one of my favorites was because, again, remember you paid to do this, and it's crazy early in the morning. They had Deadly, who's kind of the doomsday Muppet, saying, imitating his voice as best as I can, remember, you paid to do this. So,
I told
that,
Pam off stream that like I was petrified of that guy when I was when a kid. He was used to be in the Muppets, and he was like I don't remember who they had Vincent Price with him or something when I was a kid. I was
yeah.
petrified of that guy, so I wouldn't like him. But okay,
Yeah.
that's awesome though.
So, well, but it was fun, and so it's all things to keep you entertained on the route. They pump in music. They really discourage you from wearing AirPods as you're
Oh,
running
okay.
because, yeah, which a lot of people still do because that's how they can pace themselves. But they've got all these messages that are there and they're fun to listen to.
Mm,
So
that's awesome.
it's,
Very cool.
it's definitely a good time. But you asked about, training for it. As I say, I was a runner before. You don't have to run it, as I've been saying. But on the Run Disney website, they have a full training program.
Oh,
Whether
cool.
you're a beginner or an advanced
And
runner,
that's just for people
they
who are registered, or like anyone
no,
gets in. Oh,
no,
neat. That's cool.
it's open to anybody. And they have a training program for all of the different races, whether you want to do the 5K, 10K, half, or even the full marathon, to get you ready to do it. The only thing I will say about Run Disney races, when the sign up time is on, you need to be ready. It might even be easier to get Taylor Swift tickets than get into a Run
Wow,
Disney race.
that's crazy.
Yeah, it is. They sell out so incredibly fast.
Okay, good. Another good
So,
tip. So
yeah, but they're really fun.
very neat.
So,
All right.
so that's kind of, a little bit about the Food and Wine Festival. I highly recommend it to anybody that's a foodie or just loves Disney and wants to try some, different foods in Disney World
That's awesome.
that you normally wouldn't have.
Sounds
But
awesome. So
um, there is something else I do want to talk about that is new to Disney. And Rob, I don't know if you've got the slides up for that
yeah.
yet,
Did you want to bring
but
up Mexico too before we move on from the
oh,
food
sure, we
stuff?
can
Or
bring up Mexico.
okay.
And I'm bringing this up for my husband in the other room.
Marty. It's too funny.
Um,
Hey, I'm with Marty too, so well, let's bring. I'm gonna
okay.
bring it up. So we were just here.
Okay, so I'm not sure how to even pronounce this dish. Again, I speak French, not Spanish. Um,
It looks awesome.
Paradilia. I think it might be La Hacienda. And what it is, it's chicken, it's steak, it's rice, it's vegetables, it's Mexican street corn. It's basically everything all in one platter that
Oh,
is
it
supposed
sounds.
to serve two, but truthfully, let me tell you, you could serve, that could feed an army. Um, and so I don't know how many times we've been to Disney World. I mean, more than I have fingers and toes. And
Mhm.
so we're always looking for something new. And we've eaten at the San Angel, which is inside the
I
Mexican
love that place.
pyramid
Yeah,
at
I go there
Epcot.
every
Yeah.
time,
Um,
every trip.
and we've also eaten at the Cantina San Angel, which
Okay.
is outside.
I
But we
think that's
found,
where I eat. So I'm stand
okay,
corrected. I think that's where I eat. Okay, go ahead.
okay.
So, well, where's this
Then
then?
Well, this is in a small little building, although it looks small, but it really isn't, along the lake at Epcot,
Okay,
and it's called Hacienda de San Angel.
okay.
And it's very much Mexican home style cooking, very authentic Mexican food. I'm not even sure that they have, I don't even recall tacos or enchiladas or tostadas, anything like that on the menu. Um, so I could be wrong, but I don't remember that. It's very authentic Mexican
Yeah.
cooking, and it's wonderful. It's considered one of the Disney signature restaurants, so reservations needed.
Okay. Very cool.
Um, but
Very
it's
neat.
great. So we were there back in August. We fell in love with it, and that's all my husband can do is talk about this dish
That's
there.
awesome.
So I added that for him.
All right, Marty. I love it. So
Okay,
it's
Marty?
funny because like I always kind of joke that my kids love Mexican, but they wouldn't like authentic Mexican like that. But I do like stuff like that. I do like trying stuff.
Yeah.
So very cool. All right. So I
Okay.
think we went over everything. So another thing that just opened up, was kind of cool. We're not that late to the party. This show's new, so I can go
No.
back a little bit on different stuff.
Okay.
So go ahead, Pam. We can start talking about the next part.
Okay.
So I think I
So
have another slide
opened.
here. So yeah, go
Okay.
ahead.
Yep. Opened earlier. Oh, I this summer. Maybe June-ish or so. End of June is Geo 82.
June 4th. It's in the notes. I added
Oh,
it.
you've
June
got it.
4th. So
Okay.
yes. So
Okay. So it is called Geo 82, and it is in Spaceship Earth, which, if you're not familiar, is the big geodesic sphere at Epcot. It's
ooh,
the symbol of
fancy.
Epcot. Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
where Geo comes in, it's the geodesic sphere, and you can see the shape of it in the, outlined there. It's the angles. And then the 82 comes from 1982, which was the year that Epcot opened.
Yes.
What's really not, well, first of all, let me say that this is an adults only, it's 21 and over lounge that they have in the base of Spaceship Earth. It's somewhat hidden. We actually had to go and look for it. You have to make a reservation, otherwise, they don't take walk ups. So it's by reservation only. Now, who knows if that will change in the future, but currently that's the way it is. You have to go through what's called Project Tomorrow, which is the interactive exhibit at the base of Spaceship Earth.
Mm,
And so you walk in there, and there's just a tiny little sign that says Geo 82, and you go down this long gold and bronze lit hallway. So you already know you're in something really special, and there's stairs that lead you up to, or an elevator if you would need, up to this incredible waiting area. And when you go in, they actually greet you with a scented towel. It's almost like you're at a spa.
I like that.
Yeah, and so it's a great way to cool down and just relax. And then when your space, whether you're sitting at the bar, which my husband and I did, or if you're actually at a table, then they'll call you in when your time is ready. It is incredible. I,
Okay.
I, there aren't even words to describe it. Um,
That's a good
well,
review.
okay, yeah, it's It's very Disney-ish. You will find no Mickey Mouse, you will find no Goofy. There is a hidden Mickey which is in the lights. I think you might even have a photo of that. Um, but that's the only
I'm gonna
reference
save that to
you
the
can
end, but
see.
okay.
Yeah, okay, okay. So I jumped to the, I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
Um,
It's all right.
but you can see, the head and the two ears. That's it. That's the lights. I mean, that is the only reference to Disney in there.
That's so cool.
Um, it's, as I say, it's 21 and older. It is very much a relaxing adult lounge. It's not the kind of place, you hear about drinking around the world, which is having a
Yeah.
drink at all different countries. This is not the place you want to start your drink around the world.
Okay.
You don't go there to have shots or slam beers or anything like that.
Okay.
Um, this is all the highest top quality, top shelf liquor. The bartenders are the best of the best that Disney
That's
has.
awesome.
And if you have, any questions, if there's something that you don't see on the menu, they have some really interesting drinks. Like one of the ones that you showed was my husband had was a leek martini.
Mm.
So that's the one, the taller glass off to the side with the stir stick out of it. So it was actual leek, which is a vegetable,
Mm.
and they turned it into a martini. He said it was incredible.
Wow.
They'll also do things, they have some special Disney bourbons that they have. So you can get a flight of bourbons. I wanted a traditional daiquiri, so I asked the bartender if she could make one. And, she made me the traditional daiquiri. They have some appetizers there. Again, we got a charcuterie board, you can see. They changed it up a little bit for us. We just wanted the cheese. So they gave us that. There's,
A meal wants
you
the
know,
cheese too. So, by the way.
yeah, they have a mushroom flatbread. They have some crab cakes. It's very very upscale. Now,
Very nice.
in fairness, I need to say that if you read some of the criticisms of it online, they're twofold. It is, again, as I said, it's not very Disney-ish. So you can't go in there expecting, like I say, you won't find Mickey Mouse in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but if that doesn't bother you and you're just looking for something very relaxing, it's some smooth jazz they play in there.
Nice.
It's a great place to cool down, relax. The other thing you might read online about it is the cost. I'm not going to lie, it's right on par with, a nice bar that you would go to in New York, Chicago, LA, Miami.
It's
The,
not
the
cheap,
drinks are, no, it's not. The drinks are
which is fine.
pricey. I mean, the drinks are going to cost you, maybe 25 a drink. Um, but again, it's the experience, it's the
Yeah. Heck yeah.
atmosphere. Yeah,
That's
it's a
cool.
great,
I'm gonna play one
it's
more.
definitely a great,
A great
it's a great place
experience.
to
Yeah,
go.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I'm gonna
And,
play another
and
slide. Somebody cut us off, so I'll just hold on a sec.
well,
Yeah,
the
before
other
you could
thing,
talk too. Go ahead.
okay, the other thing that I want to add in about it is if you've ever been to Oga's Cantina at Hollywood Studios,
Mm-hmm.
which is the Star Wars bar, you have a 45-minute time limit. Here, there's no time
Oh,
limit.
that's cool. Yeah.
So you could sit there all day. And while we didn't do it, I know they have a nighttime fireworks package that you can watch the fireworks from there because they have these giant picture windows.
Played your clip a couple times. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
this kind of sits like behind it is where the Walt statue is. Is that where it is? And above, beyond that is the World Showcase, like off in the distance. That's where it
It
is.
is. It faces the World Showcase
Mm.
and it's right behind Spaceship Earth.
Okay.
So if you're looking at Spaceship Earth going towards the front of the park, you'll see it's like a circular almost pavilion
Yeah.
attached to Spaceship Earth that used to be used for sponsors. You know, any of the ride sponsors, they had the space for to entertain their customers
Yeah.
that would come. But you know, Disney decided to change it into their own space, so they created this
That's cool.
Geo 82 there.
Very cool.
So there are these beautiful picturesque windows that they have there. So
Old. It looks old school Epcot. I love it. So
it
it's
is
my
it
kind of place.
yeah.
Very cool.
So
Well, that was awesome. Thank you so much, Pam. So,
no
maybe
problem.
I'll have you back on. We'll talk about the new Pirates Lounge too. I don't know. I know you haven't been there yet because it wasn't open
Yeah, I
yet or
haven't
whatever.
been there. That's
Yeah,
I've seen them build it, but
looks
I'll come
cool.
back anytime. I'd love to talk about Disney snacks, Disney, you
Oh,
know,
for sure.
anything Disney food we can
It's
discuss.
awesome.
So
Was there anything
yeah.
else you could think of that we went over? You did awesome. Thank you so much for
Oh, thank you.
going through all that
Yeah.
stuff. So I don't know.
Um,
I was hungry. Now I'm really hungry after seeing that filet mignon and stuff. So I
I'll just
don't
add in one of my if you are ever looking for amazing French onion soup, and they have this all the time, so this isn't a food and wine thing. Go to Chefs de France, which is one of the sit down restaurants at Epcot in the France Pavilion,
Very
and
nice.
it's amazing.
Yeah,
So I'll
I'm
just
always the
give that
Mex. I
plug
always go
for
to
that.
Mexico every single time. I just love it. So I love the
Yeah.
boat ride going by and everything. But I'm boring. So,
Yeah.
but you need to expand my horizons, pun intended.
Yeah,
So
we've been there. We've done Nine Dragons, which is the
that's
Chinese
awesome.
restaurant. Yeah, we've done
Very
the
cool.
Italian restaurants. So
Very cool. All right, so hang out. Let's
okay,
talk about some other
okay,
stuff. Part of my, new stuff, old stuff. I do a bunch of different kind of cool stuff. So let
yeah,
me,
you take it away.
yeah, let's do some stuff here. Um, so looking back, unfortunately, and with my last show and this show, I think I'm realizing that I bring some bad news to this show. So back in 1973 they closed Carousel of Progress at Disneyland, and I don't know if you know this, but I live only like about 25 minutes from where the World's Fair was, Pam,
Okay,
and the original Carousel of Progress was literally 25 minutes from my house, and there's a lot of different stuff there. The globe's there, those towers are there, the Men in Black towers and stuff, but there's no real reminiscence of Disney at the World's Fair. He had 4 or 5 different things there. Carousel of Progress was one. They moved it to Disneyland, and then they moved it to the Magic Kingdom. It was created for the '64 World's Fair, and then they had it at Disneyland. And for some reason, I always thought there was two. There was a Carousel of Progress at Disneyland, and then the Disney World. But I realized that it moved. There was only one, the OG. So I should be playing this while we're talking about it. But there it is, the OG. I think this is the original version. And like last week, I said they are going to be doing. Walt's going to be part of the Carousel of Progress. We talked about it last week, but
yeah,
this
they're
is really,
updating it. Yeah,
yeah. With the Walt, I guess they used for the Disneyland one by coincidence there. So that's that. Carousel of Progress closed at Disneyland and they moved to Disney World. I love retro rides, as you know. So that was the first one up. So another cool ride I loved as a kid was the Mickey Mouse Revue in the Magic Kingdom, and it ended its run in 1980. They actually shipped it over to, believe it or not, Tokyo Disneyland for a while. So my uncle Ronnie, thank you, Uncle Ronnie, he filmed. See, I apologize. It mutes us when they play the videos. I got to unmute it. So yeah, Pam said it brings back some memories. Yeah, my uncle Ronnie filmed this, and it's such a cool thing. This was filmed in when did they film this? In '76. So this was such a cool attraction, but it was very primitive. Very, I think what's the 3D movie's there now. What's the 3D movie? PhilharMagic's there now, so that's where this theater was. So but it was just a cool attraction. They had some cool songs and everything, and but there that was Mickey, and there Song of the South, Brer Rabbit's there, which is kind of cool. Pre Splash Mountain. So, but I'm gonna give a little tribute to that. All these videos are on my channel too, RobFuz. I'm gonna put a link to all the videos shown here too. You can watch the whole things if you want there. So that's it. 1980, it got moved over. I don't really have that in my note. I do, I guess, a little bit. It got moved over to Tokyo Disneyland, but it was in Disney World for a while. So, another thing, Captain EO premiered in 1986. You know about Captain EO? Do you ever see Captain EO, or
Oh, I saw
do you remember
Captain EO
that?
many times talk about Epcot. It was at Epcot.
Yeah, sure.
In the wasn't it in the Imagination Pavilion
It
with
was, yes,
Figment?
yes,
Yes.
yes. So it definitely has. There's, of course, Michael Jackson was in. Michael Jackson was a huge Disneyland fan, Disney fan. They never really said how much it cost, but the rumor was it was $30 million to produce it. And the minute per cost was $1.76 million for a 17-minute 3D short, which is crazy. So I know George Coppola made it. Is it George Coppola? Is that Francis Ford Coppola? Sorry, Francis Ford Coppola did The Godfather. He's the one who produced it. But at the time, it was the most expensive film ever made, and it was Captain EO, which I don't know if you remember Captain EO much, but it was a little strange. So I don't know. What do you have any
Well,
thoughts on
yeah,
Captain EO?
he was on another planet and came, and yeah, it
Yeah,
was.
it's some cool characters and everything.
But it was also very Michael Jackson, with the moonwalk
Yeah.
dance, and
He had
yeah.
2 songs in it, so it's pretty cool. You can find that on YouTube too. I think I had it on my channel at some point, but you could find it out there. So if you want to see it and you're curious about it, in 1993, The Nightmare Before Christmas opened in New York City. Now that's such a cult classic. Tim Burton stop motion movie.
Okay, I'll confess, I have never seen it.
Wow, this is the year, Pam. You got to see it this year.
I
The cool thing about it, it's Halloween, it's Christmas. You can watch it between now and whatever for the holiday seasons. We watch it for Halloween. I think it's more of a scarier thing, but
Yeah,
it is a
I
fun
know
movie,
I
so.
know the characters. I know Sally, Jack Skellington. I've never seen it.
You should definitely check it out. It's good. It is on Disney Plus. So you a Disney Plus person?
Of course.
Okay, of course. That's good. So okay, so it's funny. I talked about last week. We talked about 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea just closing in the Magic Kingdom, but I always forget. I always make the mistake. I always thought there was 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, but the one in Disneyland was called the Submarine Voyage, and that was 1998. That closed. I'm gonna play. There's a squid. I'm gonna play some footage of it. So, in 1998, the Submarine Voyage closed, and this was such a cool ride. I don't. Do you know much about the Submarine Voyage in California?
I recall going on it, but I then know that it turned into Nemo, which
Right. Now it's Nemo.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah, which I've been on as well.
Yeah, me too. I have too. So, but like, there's sharks here, and it does look cheesy on video, but it was cool. They actually had. I'm gonna fast forward a little bit towards the end here. A little spoiler alert. So there is the sea serpent here. So it was kind of cool though. They did a lot of stuff with the lagoon. They had live mermaids there. This serpent definitely looks a lot cheesier than the one in the Magic Kingdom, but yeah, in 1998, this submerged for the last time. This underwater adventure had been thrilling guests since 1959 in the park, which is crazy, in Disneyland. And then there he is. He just looks a little weird. I don't know.
Is that the Osborne light show?
Yeah, we're gonna get to that too. It went to the next video, so we'll get back to that. So I was showing Pam this off the stream too. Another closure in Disneyland in 2001. Disneyland lost their Country Bear Jamboree, their theater and everything, and they converted it to Winnie the Pooh ride. They didn't have a Winnie the Pooh ride, so it's kind of funny that as much as the cool Disney core classic, like they still have Pinocchio, they have Mr. Toad, they have Alice in Wonderland, but They no longer have the Country Bear Jamboree. It was called the Country Bear Playhouse, and it closed in 2001, and it was replaced by the Winnie the Pooh ride. But here was the outside sign. It just looked a little different there. That's the entrance for the Playhouse. And I was telling Pam and Marty off stream, when they retired it, one of the cool Easter eggs is when you ride Winnie the Pooh and you see Winnie the Pooh coming out of like the honey, like he's coming out of honey, whatever. He's just eating honey or something. There's like a, what do you call honey? Like what do you? I guess the
honey
beehive.
pot.
Yeah, the honey pot. He's coming out of the beehive. If you go like this, and I think there is I think you're in a, I forget what you are in the Winnie the Pooh, but I think it's actually kind of constricting. You really can't turn around. But if you kind of go like this and look over the ride vehicle, what they did was they still left the bear heads up there. So I think they're very bizarre looking. That is part of the ride too. If you go there like tomorrow, you could see these, Max, Buff, and Melvin. They're still in Disney in Magic Kingdom. They still have their characters. They actually, I was telling Marty too. They actually had in the show. They had them, and then in the saloon part, they had like another set of these, and they just talked and they performed everything. But look how creepy these guys are. I just wanted to show this photo.
Well,
So.
and like we were talking about too before, Rob, is with the Winnie the Pooh ride in Florida.
Yeah.
They have, because that took over where Mr. Toad was.
Right.
So they have, again, it's something you've got to look for,
Yeah.
but towards the beginning of the ride, they have Mr. Toad handing a deed over to Pooh Bear. So
That's awesome.
that's
Yeah,
kind of
I remember
cute.
that little hidden Easter egg too. All this stuff took place the week of last week. I'm looking back the week of the 8th, September 8th. So all this stuff happened last week in the history of Disney. So, of course, last week was 9/11, September 11th. So I think this was really the first time in 2001, of course, 9/11. The plane struck the World Trade Center, and they like I remember, like, you don't know what was going on. Like when the planes hit the tower and everything, you don't know if it's a big thing, where they were going to hit. At that time, you didn't know what their intentions were. So Disney, I think, kind of freaked out, which understandable, and they closed the park, and they closed all their parks that day. And back then, since COVID, they closed for months. Back then they never really closed the park. So that was a very historical thing on September 11, 2001. That they actually closed the parks and everything. So.
And I want to add on that, there were actually people already in the parks.
Yeah, of course.
So
yeah.
it's not that it's not like with COVID where they just shut down,
Right. Thanks for
said,
clarifying that.
we're not opening. There were actually people in the parks and they had to usher them out, which has got to be a huge task.
Yeah, it was definitely monumental. So I wanted to bring that up too. And I did the I ruined it before. So one of the last things on my list here was in 2015, the Osborne lights announced that they were going to end. Because, do you know why they were going to end the Osborne lights?
I don't.
Because they built Galaxy's Edge. So there was no really place to have their things.
Well, that's right, because that was Catastrophe Canyon, the Osborne lights.
Backlot tour, yeah. So the original one was in the backlot tour. They would just close down the backlot thing, and you would walk the streets like the Golden Girls house and like those houses and everything, and they decorated those streets. That was the first incarnation, and then like later on they kind of made it small and they made it like in the streets of New York and everything. So yeah, I'm gonna just and the music's so cheesy, so I'm gonna play. This was the last year I got to go, 2015. So this was a much smaller version. Like you could see there's like a zillion people in this streets of New York that no longer exist anymore. So this was the day. This week in 2015, they announced this Christmas is going to be the last hurrah. So I did get to go down there.
Didn't they, Rob, even have, because Disney owns ABC, wasn't there even a couple Disney's or ABC specials about those, if I recall?
The lights? Yeah, they did a lot of different stuff. Yeah, I think so. I don't remember the specials per se, but there was this, this was the New York streets. They had a lot of the stuff there. So, and so I just wanted to show this too. this isn't a great video. I apologize, guys. So this is me and my family, and this is like, all right, hurry up and shoot. You know, my kids were like, it's the end of the night, they wanted to go and everything, but it was pretty neat. So again, all these videos are on my channel, and this week, you know, in 2015, they announced it was not gonna be there anymore. A couple other current things. Joe Rohde. How do you say it, Pam? You told me how to say it.
I think it's Rhodey.
Yeah, he turned 70 the other day. Really cool. And I was just kind of teasing Pam. I said, he's a legend. Pam's like, I know who he is. And I'm like, I know you know who he is. But when you look back and see what this guy did, you know, he created the animal kingdom. It was crazy. If you see his specials and all the different things that he did with the animal kingdom, he was an incredible Imagineer. Oh, by the way, I think he was a dream finder. You know, Figment dream finder. He was a dream finder in the video, which was crazy.
Okay, that I didn't know.
Like one of the early
Was it?
videos. Yeah.
Okay.
I should have downloaded that and showed it. But another thing he did with the Animal Kingdom, he did a conservation fund, which was very interested. And they've raised over 125 million in grants for worldwide conservation projects. So I think that was a really cool thing he did.
Can I just add something
Yeah,
on
go
that,
ahead, of
Rob?
course. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So one of the really great things to do, it's kind of off the beaten track, literally, at the Animal Kingdom, and it's an extra fee you have to pay, but it's called the Wild Africa Trek.
Yeah.
And it's the most amazing experience. You actually get harnessed into certain places where you're walking above the crocodiles, the hippos,
That's awesome.
and it's a couple hour
And you did
trek
that?
with we've done that,
That's
yeah.
awesome. We're going to
And
talk about
you're
that another time. I don't want to.
okay.
I don't want
Okay.
you to rush that one, but I want to hear all
Oh, okay.
about that.
No, I won't rush it, and I've got some great pictures from it. But it
All right.
goes back to what you just said about starting the conservation fund.
Yeah.
At the end of it, they give everybody a token that is
awesome.
X amount of, I don't remember what it is equivalent to in dollars, but you then have your choice of different funds you want it to go to, whether it's the primates or the giraffes or the hippos, and it all goes to their conservation.
We'll put Joe here. That's awesome. I really like that. So yeah, that's a cool thing with the conservation fund. You know, he helped. Hey Joe, welcome to the stream. If you watch the video, I put a picture of him in there. So he designed Pandora, which is amazing. If you ever saw the Expedition Everest, he designed Expedition Everest. They went to Everest. They did research and the theming and everything. He always has those big earrings. You could see him in the picture. It would always kind of freak me out. So those earrings. You know, I forgot a lot of this stuff. He went and he created. He was the head creation of the Hawaiian resort. Alana, how do you say it?
Alani.
Alania. Okay.
I believe that's how it's pronounced. Yeah.
Yeah, that's how it looks. So he went and he did that, which was amazing. And then towards the end, he reimagined Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that was one of the last projects he worked on, the Twilight Zone one, Mission Breakout in California. He worked on that. And then he got the Disney Legend Award in 2024. And he just turned 24. So he just turned 24. That was in 2024. He got the Legend Award. He just turned 70. Sorry, Joe. He looks pretty good for a 24. He looks pretty old for 24. So, but that was cool. He was always one of my favorite Imagineers. Maybe, you know, him and Baxter, the guy who did all the other original Magic Kingdom rides like Splash Mountain. Those two are like my favorite Imagineers. So, what is his name? Baxter's first name? Do you know the Imagineer?
You got me on that one.
Noah won't say it. I can't think of his first name, but those two are my favorite Imagineers. Oh, by the way, Noah is my co-producer of the show, so thank you, Noah. Noah always helps me out and everything, so I know he's in the chat. So I just wanted to give a shout out to Noah too. He helps me co-produce the show and the facts and everything. So, one of the things too, speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, Cosmic Rewind, September 21st, they made the announcement they are going to go back and do. They're going to play all. This is just so goofy. They did a video where it was like tapes, like a tape collection. They're like, what are we going to play on September 21st? September. And they kept pointing to the same thing. But they did it last year. They're going to do it again. They're going to play all day. They're going to play Earth, Wind, and Fire's September, where they mentioned the 21st of September. So, which was Tony Baxter. I can't believe I can't think of Tony Baxter. Thanks, Noah. I don't know. I know. So he's my favorite. I just couldn't think of his name. I knew it was Baxter. So, but thank you, no, I appreciate it. So, but yeah, all day long they're gonna play September by Earth, Wind and Fire, which is fun because they do mention the 21st of September. My next door neighbor, actually got married on September 21st on purpose because it was September 21st, and they played the song and the place went nuts. So that was really cool. So, and then last but not least, Hong Kong Disneyland, and Noah contributed to this too. They turned 20 on September 12th, so they got a couple different celebrations. They have a cool drone show there. I don't know if you know about Hong Kong Disney. It's very small. It's in like mountains.
Our neighbors
Hong
were
Kong.
there earlier
Yeah,
this year.
oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, so they have a couple different the couple of different celebrations they're doing, and my favorite, probably one of my favorite rides of all time that I've never been on, but I'd say top 10 rides. I really want to try this, is Mystic Manor. I don't know if you ever saw it in Hong Kong. So it is such a cool ride. It's their haunted mansion, but I wish they bring it here because it just looks so awesome. So have you ever seen this attraction, Pam?
Just on video.
Oh, Mystic
Yeah.
Manor. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, if you haven't been there. So yeah,
Yeah.
it
Yeah, I
just looks
haven't
so
been there.
cool.
We've done Paris, but never
Oh, that's
any
cool.
of the other parks.
That's
Yeah.
good to know. But I just love this attraction, so I just wanted to kind of, if you're watching the video, you'll see that I'm showing some of the video. The monkey just, the mischievous monkey, just so awesome. So there's a whole thing. And of course, this video is on my channel. My friend actually recorded this for me. So yeah, that's it. We gone through everything. Your part was amazing, Pam. It was really good of hearing
Thank
about all
you.
the food and stuff and everything. So real quick, I'm gonna give the floor to you too if you want to promote your. Pam is in her kitchen, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to
I am. This
move
is
out of
my
the way, this is the
kitchen.
kitchen. If you want to tell about your socials and everything and what you do again, it's just people who
Yeah.
missed it from the beginning. Go
Follow
for it.
me at In Pam's Kitchen, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, Lemonade. It's all at In Pam's Kitchen. Yes, you'll find just fun food things, you'll find recipes, you'll find cooking videos. It's all there. Please
It's
follow.
awesome. Yeah, I've been checking out. I was watching some of the videos. They're so fun. They're really good. So they made me very hungry too. So don't go to any of her socials when you're hungry. So very
Thank
cool.
you.
Well, thank you so much, Pam, for coming on again. Amazing job
Thank
hearing
you.
about the festivals and the marathons and the Geo 82. So much fun. So
Thank you for
definitely
having me.
definitely have to have you on again. You're awesome, and thank you for being my new content partner. It's been supplying us with some videos and everything. I know that sounds weird, like, yeah, I'm Rob's content partner, or whatever. So I appreciate you filming some rides for me and everything. So I've been
Oh,
showing
no
those on the
problem.
channel and everything. So all right, cool guys, thank you so much. And this is This Week in Disney for the week of September 8th, and we filmed this on September 15th, 2025. And I'll be back next week, 9:30 every week, I guess, until until I don't do it. I don't know. I've been having fun with it though. So, and thanks again, Pam. I appreciate it. Go check out her
Sure.
socials, please.
No problem.
Check them out.
Thanks.
And thank you guys. I'll see everyone soon. Have a great week, guys. Take care. Bye, Pam. Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
Bye bye.